Mike, what's up, dude?
What is up? What is up?
Welcome to Recovering Loudly, the Possessed podcast, brother. And I'm super stoked to have you.
Thank
Definitely.
you. I'm glad to be here.
You're showing us all your wicked fucking hockey jerseys.
In my messy ass house or apartment or wherever.
Well, we gotta say, me and you met in the coolest of circumstances in
Oh,
2016 at the
Dude,
fucking
like
barbecue.
some crazy, awesome circumstances, buddy.
Yeah,
Like that's crazy. Yeah,
you were a
I was.
lifeguard, weren't you?
Yeah, with my ex-girlfriend and my buddy Rob.
Yeah, giant red mohawk. Yeah, I met them. I was like, whoa,
Purple. No, it was purple. It was
Was it
purple Mohawk that time. I think it was purple. Or
right.
was it red? Or was it red?
I don't know, but you guys had red and white uniforms, so it might have been
Yeah.
red, dude.
I
It was
can't
cool.
remember. I know the lifeguard stuff was all like red and white, and then lifeguard. It was a lot. Wow, like what an awesome time. And believe it or not, that was the last barbecue they ever had.
I know, right? I don't know why they don't do another one. Well, they're not gonna. There were some
It,
murmurings about it, and then I guess they couldn't do it at Haddad Park anymore, which was like a giant fucking outdoor water park with the
unbelievable.
yeah,
It
and
was
a metal
amazing.
fucking show, metal
Like
festival.
some crazy bands, some good like amazing weather. Like the people were awesome. Like that was lucky enough. I'm so appreciative of that whole experience because one, I got to meet you and you're a killer dude, bud, and I see you all the time here in Vancouver at the
Thank
rock
you.
shows and stuff like that, right? I see you all the time. And it's just trippy that Vancouver boys can meet in Richmond, Virginia at a freaking metal show. And it's just it's a small world, right? It's a small world.
Life's trippy. I love
It,
that.
it, it
I love
really
that.
my favorite thing is one of my favorite lines. It's from the movie Training Day, and it's when when they're in the house, and the Mexican dude goes "Les no," and
It's
it's
true. Yeah, it's
right,
true. It's
right,
true,
and
right?
it's totally true. It's
I
totally
want to ask
true.
you quick. How did you get that gig? How did you get involved? How do you become a lifeguard?
So it's all
Shout out to
because I
Guar, by the way. Shout out to fucking
shout out
Guar.
to freaking Guar, who's an amazing band. Um, it was all due to the ex-girlfriend, Samantha Mack.
Right,
Me and
right.
Samantha Mack were together for a long time, and that was, I think, within the first year or so that we were dating and or together. And she actually worked for Guar. She was the host of the Guarbecue for years and years and years.
Really?
And yeah, and I was just lucky enough that at the time it was we didn't know it at the time, but it was the final barbecue, and we all went down there and did our thing and met you, and I got to meet all the guys in Guar and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm still
Crazy
friends with
time.
some of them on Facebook too. Yeah.
Still friends with some of them on Facebook. It was super cool. That weekend, I got to meet Phil Anselmo that weekend and talk with that guy, which was like I have video of it. Like it's some crazy shit that I would have never thought 10-year-old me would have got to talk to Philip Anselmo. And then just because of working with Sam and being on the stage in front of like 3,000, 4,000 people, whatever the heck it was that was there when she's all doing her thing, it was pretty surreal taking the pictures and getting to be backstage when like Lamb of God was on, when they were on the main stage of the final thing, and like literally standing there watching them and watching Mark step off stage, like literally walk by me, take a fucking drink, and then back out on stage and like awesome,
Wild.
fucking awesome. Yeah, wild. So,
Well, then, so like, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Like, okay, so here's the thing. Your recovery story is a little different. So here on the Recovering Loudly podcast, we talk about recovering from substance abuse, and then the Recovering Loudly at the Possessed podcast. So of course, on the other side is the Possessed podcast. The Possessed, like you're definitely a possessed motherfucker. You're a wrestler. You're fit. You're healthy. You're doing a lot of cool shit.
healthier. I'm healthier now.
Yeah.
It's,
So what can we dig a little deep? Can we
sure.
unpack your journey with you're a cancer survivor.
Yes.
You recovered
23.
from cancer.
I'm like almost 2007, I was diagnosed and started treatment. 2008, I was finished treatment. I had four months of chemotherapy, 10 rounds of radiation over 2 weeks. So this all happened within a span of 5, 6 months. I was 23 when I got it. Almost killed me. My skin looked like this wall behind me. I was green, like dying from the inside, craziness. And fought back from the dead. Literally, like this shit was the cancer was taking me. And if I didn't do the treatment, I wouldn't be literally standing here talking with you right now. If I didn't do the treatment almost 17 years ago.
17 years ago. So how old were you?
23.
So young. Were you into fitness before that too?
I've been into the gym since I was like before I was even allowed. I was literally grabbing rocks from my mom's garden and lifting rocks at the house before like grade 7 and grade 8 dance, before I was even ever allowed to set foot in a gym. You know what I mean? Because at that time, like years ago, I don't know if it's changed now or not, but you had to be, I think it was like 15 or 16 to be able to go into the gym. And finally, when I turned, I think it was like Christmas of 2001 is when I got my very first 2001 when I got my first membership, and been training. I've been in the gym 5-6 days a week ever since. So
that's
it's
amazing.
Crazy. Yeah.
So then to get that news, and so can we ask, like, how did you find, and what kind of cancer did you have?
Okay, so I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. The strain that I had was a very weird strain that is like regularly found in African males, which is weird because I'm a white Ukrainian Polish boy. So to have this weird African strain of cancer, I guess, or not African strain, but like weird cancer that more African males are prone to. It's kind of trippy.
Why?
Asked the doctor. We asked the oncologist, and we're like, "Yo, what's the reasoning for this?" I had to disclose everything, right? So at 23, you're young, you're dumb, you're trying shit, you're doing drugs and experimenting and this and that. I did my very first cycle of steroids at I think it was 21 or 22.
That's a bit young.
Right? It's really way too young, way too young. I wish I would have waited. Knowing what I know now, I wish I would have waited, because I would have been able to reap more of the benefits now later on and not shut down my natural testosterone by jumping on it at 22 years old. But sorry, where was I going? I was rambling on that one.
No, it's all good. No, that's fine. We love it. Get it. This is podcasting, man. We love to hear it all. So we were saying I was about to ask, like, how did you find out you had cancer?
Okay, so I had this little bit of a lump in my armpit, and I didn't notice it at first, and then finally when it grew and you could feel it in there, it's moving around, it started to kind of hurt. And I ignored it for a while, right? I was just like, I'm not going to worry about it. It's just like, it'll go away. And then finally, it never went away, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and it started hurting more and more. It got to the point where I couldn't sleep on my right side. I was taking like Percocet and other type of Oxycontin and other kind of pills just to go to work at like 22 years old. You know what I mean? Just because it fucking hurt my arm, and my mom would just find like, Michael, go to the damn clinic, get it checked out, and maybe it's just a cyst, something you need to get removed, right? We weren't even thinking, because I'm 23 years old, right? We're not even thinking cancer. You know what I mean? You got an enlarged lymph node, you got a cyst or something, you need to get rid of it, needs to get removed, or you need to do something to get rid of it, right?
Which is different for me, because if I see a sore on my arm or something, like, fuck, it's cancer. I'm fucked.
I was just like, look, go away, leave me alone. I can remember at 22 it was like the August long weekend in 2007 before I got it checked out, and I can remember going camping in Ontario at Sabo Beach with a whole bunch of friends, and there's a picture with me lying down with my arms out like this. And I can remember vividly lying there, still lying there, and the shit hurt my arm. You could literally see the lump in my arm when I was like this on the grass camping. In the picture, you can literally see it. And finally, I think it was September, I finally got it checked out. Went to the clinic. They're like, we'd like to have you take an ultrasound. Go from there. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll go get an ultrasound. Went and got an ultrasound done. They're like, we still can't really kind of tell what it is. We'd like to have a biopsy. And the minute they said biopsy, I was like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. And yeah, uh-oh. And
That sharp fucking cortisol spike, right? Fuck.
yeah. So then went back to the doctor for another follow-up appointment for I think it was they did it really quick. They weren't messing around. Right now, when I think about it, it was, it wasn't that day, but it was literally like the next day or two. It was like so fast. They're like, nope, we need you in here for a biopsy now.
Right.
Right. So I went in for a biopsy. And I guess at the time, like now we know, but at the time, like I didn't know, but it was a tumor, and it was all entangled in nerves. So when they went in for the biopsy and they took it out, they took a little chunk of it out. They got it tested. It came back a week later. They're like, hey, they called me in. I worked afternoon shift at the time. And they said, hey, can you come in? We got your results. Blah, blah, blah. I went in there and they're like, so you got cancer. I was like, sweet. What are you guys going to do with me? Well, we don't really know. We'd like you to just stick around and we'll get an oncologist for you and figure this out. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, I looked at my fake watch and I was like, when you guys figure out what you're going to do with me, you give me a call and I'll come back. Right now, I got to be at work in 4 hours and I got bills to pay. So I'm going to have to leave. And you guys call me when you got everything situated and we know what we're going to do. And I'm going to go to work. So I'll see you guys later. And they're like, well, we'd really like to stay. I was like, I don't really give a fuck what you guys would like me to do. I'm 23 years old and I got bills to pay. And you just told me that I have cancer. I'm not sitting in this fucking hospital. You can go kick rocks, guys. Like, I'm not go pound dirt, go pound sand. I'm not.
That's a really, really interesting response. Like you just really, so you didn't
fight or flight, right? And
I feel like I would have been like, let's start. I would be like, let's get. Like for me, I feel like we're like, let's figure this out. Fuck work. Like, what do I got to do? What pills? What this? You were just.
I didn't know, but yeah, it's like, but I don't know what to do. So I'm just 23 years old. I'm on my own in Ontario. I've got a couple of cousins and family out there, right? But my immediate family, mom, dad, brother, everybody's out in Kelowna, out west. And I'm in Ontario, in Barrie, Ontario. And it's just like, well, I got to go to work, guys. I got life to do. And I'm just like, this is some crazy ass fucking news. And I'm not sick. You guys can go fuck yourself, cancer. Fuck that. I'm going to work. And I went to work. My dad was so mad at me, I can remember leaving that day, leaving the hospital, going to my cousin's. And she was the second one, the first person I told in person, but the first person I told was my ex-girlfriend, Lisa Zulo at the time. And she's bawling on the phone. I'm fucking bawling on the phone. It's fucking crazy shit. Went to my sister's house, told her, she's fucking bawling. Ended up calling my mom, and I told my mom and I told my mom and dad, they're all on speakerphone and they're all fucking bawling and shit. Crazy kind of little quick side story to this. It's my mom's 50th birthday when I call her and tell her that I have cancer.
Right.
2 days before, my mom's sister called her and told her that she had cancer. So within 2 days of her birthday, she just had her sister tell her that she's got lung cancer, and then she's just told her that her firstborn son has non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah, happy 50th birthday.
Happy 50th birthday, right? And then to top it all off, I didn't stay at the hospital. I said, fuck you, I'm going to work.
Which might even be good because that's probably, yeah, you want
to sit around in the hospital and stew and do what?
Right.
What?
Take on a defeatist mentality. No, right? You were already working. Right? You were already out there doing
Mike,
it. Right?
You were possessed, bro. You were
I'm fucking psycho. I'm fucking psycho.
That is a wild reaction.
I was in the gym. I was playing ice hockey, ball hockey. I was doing everything every day, all day until literally it almost killed me. And I'll get to that.
Because that's my next question.
We just finished telling everybody. I just finished fucking leaving the hospital. My dad's losing his mind on the phone. He's like, "What are you doing? You're my fucking son. This is gonna kill you. You go back to that fucking hospital, you little fucking asshole." Blah blah. Like he was so mad. But then he understood, right? Like what? Like they didn't know. You know what I mean? They didn't know. Like they got to. You know what I mean? So it was like a day or two later, I got the oncologist, and then we all went back and did the whole fucking. Okay, this is what I've done. This is what we're gonna do. Treatment's gonna start here. This is what you're gonna have to do. And I had to go do 4 rounds in the hospital, which were 1 week stays at the time. So I had a month in the hospital, but it was like 1 week in, 2 weeks out, 1 week in, 2 weeks out, 1 week in, 1 week out, 1 week in.
Okay.
What did your job say? So how did that work with your job? They just kind of, what were you doing at the time? Evening shifts.
So I was working at a place called Frasia in Bradford, Ontario, and they're a automotive manufacturing company. I worked for GM and made seat frames for their Pontiac G6, for the Camaros, for a whole bunch of their GM line. Right? They even actually, before the factory shut down and moved, and I quit and went to California, which is a whole nother story. We were doing stuff for like BMW and Volkswagen and shit like that too, right? But yeah, it was a GM manufacturing plant.
How did they handle the news though? Like how did that work? I got to take a week off. Like, were they supportive?
They were absolutely fantastic. So at the time I was full time and I'd already been there for 3 or 4 years. I had full benefits, which thank God, holy shit, right. I had full benefits and I didn't have to worry about anything. I think the most I ever paid for any kind of prescription drug or anything like that was $2. I had everything. Yes. Everything was covered, and a couple of the shots that I would have to take during my treatment, they were called Neupogen shots, because after I think it was my first week, almost, or my second week of treatment, I went what they call Neupogenic, and it's when literally like spike fever of like 103 or 5. Fucking on the verge of dying, where I'm literally having, I think it's something to do with white blood cells, and I have no more white blood cell count. They have to give me the shot to give me fucking or red blood cells or something like that. There's some weird thing where the cancer and the chemo was depleting, like, because the chemo is literally killing everything inside. It's killing everything inside, and you're strong enough, your body is strong enough to withstand all that poison and be able to bounce back after it's killed, and hopefully, fingers crossed, killed whatever tumors or kind of cancer that's in there.
So good thing you were in the gym quite a bit and probably eating well.
Yes and no. I eat a hell of a lot better now than I did when I was 23. That's for sure, right? But you know what I mean? You got metabolism.
Did they tell you like? So did they give you like? Because you were saying that you're 1 week off, 2 weeks at home, 1 week, and you actually like. What was the timeline between when you ran away from the hospital and then they told you to get back? Like, what happened? Is there
so fast? So like it was literally fucking. They told me it was we figured it all out. Like, yep, you have fucking, you have cancer. Blah blah blah.
What's the survival rate of that though as well? Sorry.
They said it was high. It was above 50%, but I had to do treatment. If I didn't do treatment,
right,
it would kill me. It'd kill me. Which is unfortunate because there was another gentleman that was kind of going through the same thing, and he chose not to do treatment and he died. Which sucks. But
you want to do holistic, natural stuff?
He did. I guess he wasn't going to do the treatment. He denied treatment and he ended up dying. And that's the one thing that I can remember from back then when I started it. But yeah, so the survival ratio was high, but you had to deal with it. If you didn't, it was gonna.
Okay, and that brings us back to your so the part of the story where so now you're doing treatment, 1 week, 2 weeks out,
1 week in, 2 weeks out. The week stays in. I've got chemo every day, so it's like this fucking like literally Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fucking lime green, purple, fucking weird shit that they're literally pumping into my veins. I was asked like, do you want? I could have got like what they call a port or a pick. And a port is like whatever they put in your body, so they can just like put the thing in and it can just go into your body and you don't have to change veins all the time. But after I had originally had that biopsy and I had to have a hemovac all hooked up to suck all the extra liquid out and blood and all that other stuff for 5 days, there was some crazy ass shit, and I had to change bags and stuff like that. I swore after that, I was like, I'm never ever getting a piercing. I'm never getting tattoos. I'm never getting, like, if they want me to get a port or a pick, nope, they can fucking stick me with the needle every time because I'm not having anything hanging out of my body. I don't care.
Super painful, I'm assuming.
What?
Well, these injections and all these vein treatments.
After a while, like now, like when I think about it, it didn't. The needle didn't hurt going in, but it's like after a couple of hours, they would have to switch veins because my veins would start to burn. And that means the veins that's killing the veins. So they have to change the vein, or the blood, that vein will die.
Dude, this is fascinating, buddy. This is fucking fascinating. Don't worry. Anyone else, like, people
I'm literally looking like a fucking heroin addict with all the fucking, all the hole in both arms, both arms, the tracks in my arm. It was just fucking wild. Like, looked like I had chicken pox in the fucking arm, the crevices of my elbows, and it was fucked. It was fucked. And that's because I didn't want the port or the pick because of the hemovac shit, having this stuff hanging out the side and dangling down, and I was like, fuck that. Fuck that.
Oh, that's a lot for the body to take.
So week stays, fucking chemo every day. The most intense one, at the end of every week, I would get what they call a methotrexate shot, and it's literally like having a spinal tap. So they have this fucking long ass fucking needle. They cover the wherever that brown liquid that they put on your skin before they give you an injection with this huge ass needle or whatever, right? So they put this brown shit on my lower back, and they had this long ass fucking needle filled with this fucking shit, and they would stick it into my spine and spinal column, and they would inject it, and it would it was a chemotherapy type thing, wherever that would help prevent any cancer from growing into my brain and giving me brain cancer. But this stuff that they injected into me, within it was at the end of the last day of each week stay, and I would go home, right? And then within literally 24 hours, almost 48 hours, I couldn't sit up or stand up for more than 3 or 5 minutes, because I would have this excruciating migraine headache, like to the point I had to lie down. Like, I didn't throw up, but if I stayed standing up and all this stuff, I would end up throwing up. I never puked through any of my treatment, thank God. But this, whatever shot, this fucking spinal tap shot that they gave me, every four of these, after every week stay, I would get these crazy, massive fucking headaches, and I'd have to lie down. I'd spend most of my time lying down, and it was fucking wild, like just wild. And I can still feel, like, if I think about it, I have vivid memories of that weird long ass needle in there, and that feeling like, oh, something's in there, man. Something's in there.
Old muscle memory, eh? Just lingering.
Oh, but nothing extremely painful. I guess just agonizing, and it's
just fucking feeling like, like
fuck, I'm terrified of needles, man.
Needles don't bother me, man. I'm a bodybuilder, right? So I'm an ex-steroid user, you know what I mean? So pinning myself is fucking, it's weird. I actually enjoy it. I actually like fucking, it's super, super weird, where I like drawing the fucking shit out. I like looking at it, fixing it, okay, and then pinning myself. It's sick. It's weird, but I actually kind of enjoy it.
I'm looking at TRT replacement therapy myself. Like, at this point, I'm 42 years old, and I can tell that I've got my blood work done and my test levels are low, and I can tell that I'm just, for all the things I want to do, even try wrestling here, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Eventually, you're going to need some testosterone.
So you go through this, right? And geez, wild. But at what point do you finally get some sort of news that, like, it's working, and like, things are
after the second week of treatment?
Okay.
So when I finally realized, when I noticed the little lump in September, or not September, sorry, in July.
Yeah.
When I finally started treatment in October, so it was like the size of a pea in July. By the time I started treatment in October, it was the size of a golf ball. So within 4 months, it was like pretty big. And my arms literally, like, if I stood there normally, my arms like literally doing that. Yeah. So I stand normally, but it was causing my arm to do that, like standing normal.
Yeah.
It was there. It was there.
And painful as fuck.
And painful as fuck. And so 1 week stay, 2 weeks out, 1 week stay. Just before I went back in for that third round, I had a checkup with the oncologist, and he went in there and he felt everything. And this shit was literally turning to mush. This tumor in there, you could feel it just disintegrating, right? It was working. It was
Fuck
working,
off,
right?
fucker.
Right?
Fuck
Straight up,
off.
fuck off. Bitch. Get the
Oh,
fuck out of
that's
me,
frustrating,
motherfucker.
man. I'm so
Who the fuck
sorry.
do you, right? It's like, who the fuck do you think you are coming into my body, trying to take me? It's like, you're, who the fuck do you think you are? Right? So, and yeah, after the second treatment, I was still playing hockey. I still had my hair. But then after that second treatment, just before I had 2 weeks out, just before I was to go in for that week stay, this is the part where I almost killed myself because I'm playing fucking hockey. My brother Dustin and I were fucking just going like stink. I'm not stopping. My mom's living with me. She's now flown out to Ontario and she's now living with me in my apartment, driving me everywhere, doing all this other stuff. And she's getting pissed off at me because I'm not staying home. You know what I mean? Right? She's
To
like,
rest.
you need to rest. I was like, Mom, I'm not sitting here and dwelling. I'm fine. I still have my hair. I feel okay. There's a hockey game going on. I'm going to play hockey. Right. So, because at the time, this is way before wrestling. I was eat, sleep, and breathe hockey. Hence why I showed you guys all the jerseys. Right. So we go out this one Saturday. We got drop in hockey. I go play fucking ice hockey for an hour and a half, me and my brother. Sweet. Fucking tired. Come back at around noon, 1 o'clock. Have lunch, relax for a minute. Hey, you know what? I'm still feeling okay. I don't want to stay at home because I got a basement apartment dwelling. Like, you're 23 years old, you got cancer. I'm going to stay at home. Fuck no. I just finished playing ice hockey. 2 hours later, my brother and I, let's go to the Georgian College and let's go shoot the ball around. Let's go play some hockey. Okay. Fucking go up to Georgian College. We show up to Georgian College thinking it's just going to be me and him. Fucking 2 goalies. Fucking 3-on-3 subs each team. They've got a huge game going at Georgian College. We're like, fucking game, let's fucking play, yeah, right. Went there, and that was the last time I played hockey. The rest of the time, because after that, I couldn't get off the couch for 5 days. I was dead. I was done. Like literally, almost killed myself. Like body was shutting down. Was done. It was like
you played the hockey game, went home, and then laid down and didn't get back up.
And that was it. And couldn't get back up. And my mom was ready to kill my brother. Like, cause she's ready to kill Dustin. Like, you fucking asshole. You're gonna fucking have him out there playing hockey. He's gonna fucking die cancer. He's like, Mom, he wasn't fucking letting me take him home. He was telling me to fuck off. Like, I was literally telling Dustin to shut up. We're gonna keep playing. Like, I'm not. If I'm gonna fucking
do
die,
what you were gonna do.
I'm gonna die on this court right now, scoring the fucking game-winning goal. You know what I mean? Like that's my mentality at that time. I was like, if I die, I'm dying right here with all my buddies playing hockey. Guys, die with cancer is just too much. But I'm not gonna die. It's not gonna happen. I'm fine. Yes, I'm a little overtired and a little too much, but it is what it is. We're here. We're having fun. Let's keep going. And come on, you can't let a guy with cancer beat you. I'm sick with cancer and I'm scoring on you guys and we're winning games. Like, oh yeah. Like, I'm literally dying of cancer and I'm still kicking your ass. You know what I mean? Like, shut the fuck up, quit being pussies. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a monster. I'm a monster.
But
so that happens.
Out,
Yeah. And so after that, I was just like, no, we're toast. No more fucking sports and anything physical was done. I was still hanging out with friends. I was hanging out with the next a friend of my girlfriend of mine. She wasn't my girlfriend, but like really, really, really close with me. Her name was Lisa Lawrence, and we were out for dinner one night, and it was a night we were all supposed to just go out for dinner and then go out to the club afterwards and have a good a good time, right? So me and Lisa are at Eastside Mario's in Barrie, and we sit down, and the waitress brings us our menu. And I look down at the menu. Cool. I look down at the menu, and there's hair all over the menu. And I'm like,
oh,
what the fuck? It's like, this is gross. I'm about to be like, excuse me. You literally brought us a menu that's like covered in hair. Like, what the fuck, right? So I'm kind of like scratching my head as she walks away. I dust it off, scratch my head. And I look at Lisa, talk with Lisa, and I look back down and it's covered in hair again. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh shit. So I kind of dust it off. I dust it off and I reach behind my head and I just kind of nonchalantly and just go, shit. And I ended up pulling out like a huge, like thick clump. I just literally grabbed my hair and went poof, and I pulled a chunk of my hair out. I'm getting goosebumps talking right now. And I pulled a chunk of hair out and I was just like, Lisa, She's like, what? I'm like, and I'm holding the fucking chunk of hair in my hand across the dinner table. I'm like, my fucking hair's falling out. And she's like, okay. She's like, calm down. It's like, we'll just have dinner and we'll go out tonight. It's like, I can't, my hair's all done. It's like, I can't go home and have a shower or nothing, because the minute I have a shower, this hair is gone. The minute I have a shower, the hair is gone. So we go for dinner, we eat the dinner, we have all that shit. And then we go home, we get ready for that night. I go out to the club that night, fucking chemo, all.
Oh no.
We lost him.
Where are you?
I'm here.
Okay, chemo, you went out, chemo, sorry.
Chemo, we're going out, fucking go to the club. Everybody knows what's going on, right? And we're all having a good time and trying to forget that I'm literally dying with everybody. I'm literally dying. Like, you know, just trying to forget that I'm dying. I'm at the club, fucking cancer, man. I was like, no, like the minute I go home and I have a shower and I sweat off all this club sweat and I shower off all this club sweat, and that my hair is gone. So after the night was done, went home. I didn't shower right away. I just went to bed. And then when I woke up, fucking pillows covered in hair. And I finally had the shower, and I'm in the shower, and I'm literally just, I'm not even scratching. I'm not even scratching. I'm not even pulling. I'm literally just like, you know, when you just kind of like, you get the hair out of your face, you know what I mean? If you got long hair, well, I'm literally like I'm rinsing soap out of my hair. But as I'm doing this, hair clumps and chunks, like just, it's like melted skin just falling off the top of my head. You know what I mean? This hair is just
sheer bald then, like just glossy bald.
And it didn't go glossy bald because I'm getting goosebumps. Like, this is crazy.
Because it's awesome, because you're sharing some fucking like some you're getting vulnerable, man. It's fucking great.
And I'm in the bathroom and I'm fucking pulling out as much as I can, as much as I'm trying to get out as much in the shower as I can. And I'm fucking crying and I'm bawling my eyes out. And I go and I stand and I look in the fucking mirror afterwards. And it's like fucking little strands of hair here, fucking bald here, fucking little patch of like this. I was 23 and I look like I was fucking 60. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? You know, crying my eyes out. And I called my mom. She's at her sister's place at the time because her sister is going through cancer as well. So she's at her sister's in Newmarket. And I call them and I go, okay, guys, it's time. And they're like, what? I need you to shave my head. It's time to shave the head. I was like, the hair's falling out. Everybody starts fucking crying, and just, it was wild. And then my hair fell out, and I was never the same after that. And then for the rest of the treatment, I was fucking just dead. Done.
Yeah, I've seen Facebook pictures of all that. Like, cause after I met you, it was years later that I found out that you had cancer. I think you made some posts, and you'd shared some picture, and I creeped your page a little bit. And I was like, holy fuck, like, because I met you in person, man. You're a big, you post your pics. You're a specimen now, brother. But to see you emaciated and in that, I was like, whoa. So maybe we'll share some links or maybe some pictures, but anyway, that's
huge. The big time recovery. I know you guys this podcast about recovery. You probably more so substances and stuff.
It's not necessarily. That's why we're stoked to have you on, because we don't want to put ourselves in a corner. It's recovering from trauma. Cool. It's recovering from ADHD. It's recovering from abuse. It's recovering. It's recovery. Yes, it's going to be more. There will be a lot of people talking about their addiction, but this is, you know, you were possessed to fucking keep going, and you did. And I really am, because it wasn't, I gave myself, I think it was after I finished treatment and everything, I was still, I had started hitting the gym while I was doing radiation. I gave my, like, this is out in Ontario. I was 23. Just finished chemo. I think. But that's a no-no?
It's not a no-no. I don't know if it's a no-no. They probably wouldn't recommend it. But me being a savage and fucking I'm gonna do what I do what I do, whether somebody likes it or not, sometimes to my detriment or not.
Yeah. That's that possession thing. That's that possession thing we're talking about.
I had to keep going. I couldn't just, you know what I mean? Treatment was done. I was weak. I was in the gym before I got cancer and was trained. I was fucking benching 305. I was fucking 217 pounds. You know what I mean? Throwing up the 120 pound, 130 pound dumbbells by myself, no spot, fucking incline, boom, 100 pound, 20 pound dumbbells, just fucking bam, 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 right? And then a year later, fucking cancer, and now I'm went from 217 to 175. Like, it just was fucking wild. You know what I mean? So 4 months or 4 weeks, 5 weeks after I finished my chemo, I started hitting the gym again. And
5 weeks after your last treatment.
after my last chemo, I gave myself a month. I was like, I'm going to give myself a month before I start training. And
I want to ask a quick question. Chemo is, I thought that chemo was like, they put you in that tube. Chemo can be injections too.
Chemo, when I took chemo, was this liquid, was this shit that was like pumped into my veins, and it was this weird Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles green ooze. Secret of the use. That's the best I can describe it. Like, it was fucking.
I thought it was
wow. There might be other forms of chemotherapy now, but we're going back almost 20 years, right?
Yeah, so it's definitely come a long way, I'm sure. But thankfully, it still worked for you at that time, right?
Right? Yeah, it worked. You know what I mean?
So 5 weeks later, so your last chemo treatment, 5 weeks. Now what are we doing?
Now we're back in the gym. We're fucking going on like it never happened. I was never sick.
Full remission.
At least trying, right? And then I had, for the first year, it was like every 3 months I had a checkup or something like that. Then after 2 years, it was like once every 6 months. And then 3 years, it was, for the final 2 years, it was like once, or like twice a year, and like once a year for the last everything, right? For 5 years. And then after the 5th year of you having checkups throughout the year, they say you're done, you're cured, you're remission, you're good.
Yeah. So that's how long it takes to get the green flag. Like, through
the green flag was 5 years, right?
Years.
And I
5 years.
Got it.
Wow.
5 years. And
fuck.
Yeah, and I got it, and I haven't looked back since. Just overcame that shit and just keep going, right? I think more so, like, for this podcast, for like addiction wise, this kind of leads into with the fit, because I went crazy with the gym, right? And nonstop, right. And especially over the last 5-6 years now, recovering from not doing fucking steroids. Like, I got addicted to doing steroids, and on for long, off for short, on for long, more and more and more. And now I'm 2 years, almost 2 years. November 27th of this year will be 2 years that I have not had any anabolic, any PEDs. I've been clean.
So a couple questions. First one quickly. How old are you now, Mike?
I'm 40.
Wow, you look fucking great. We look good, eh? Cancer survivor. Stop smoking, Jamin. Are you on TRT though? Are you on testosterone replacement therapy? Or
Absolutely.
You just what?
Absolutely.
You're all natural. 100%.
I'm 100% all me now. For the first time in,
wow,
we're like almost as long as like my cancer. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what, let's just say 10 years for sure. In the last 10 years, I've been, like, the amount of steroids that I've been on and off, and doing some stupid amounts of gear just to try and gain size and muscle, like getting to the point where I'm having heart palpitations and
it's super bad for you at that point.
Yeah, where, like, I'm literally addicted. Like, I'm addicted to it, right? I was like, it took some willpower to be like, no, I'm not fucking I don't need steroids. It took a long time to get there. And after that, after like coming off, like, and not going back on is really, really tough, because anybody who's done PEDs knows the feeling you get when you're on it. You're stronger, you're faster, you know what I mean? Like, it's just,
PEDs, and then coming off. What's the acronym for that? What is that? Sorry, for those of us who don't know. Performance enhancing drugs. And I think that testosterone replacement therapy is a little different than PEDs overall, right? Is that correct? Depending on
well, that's through your doctor. Testosterone replacement treatment is it's totally through the doctor. Like you can't go do it. Like I couldn't go and go get my buddy. Hey bro, can I get some test ethanate or test probe, whatever, and I'm going to do my own TRT. No. It's you go to the doctor, you have your blood work checked, you get everything, your levels all checked, and if the doctor says with how you're feeling, like if you're depressed, like you're slow, you're sluggish, depressed, your sex drive isn't there, he'll deem whether or not you need testosterone replacement therapy. And if you do, because of your chemical makeup in your body, everybody's different, right? So someone like yourself might need 110 milligrams, 120 milligrams a week. And someone like me, I might only need 90 milligrams or maybe 100, maybe even 60. You know what I mean? Maybe more. You know what I mean? Right? It all depends on your body, your makeup, how you are, what your body makeup is, and the doctors are the ones that are going to be able to tell you that.
So 2 questions then. So the first one is, just one statement, one question. Statement is, you faced addiction. You described it perfectly. Some people that don't understand addiction, right? They don't get it. They say, "Oh, just stop. You don't have to keep doing it." Kate, I'll tell you what I say to those people: put your phone down for 24 hours, and every single time that you want to look at it, or just because you're chemically addicted to it now, for sure. Put your cell phone down for 24 hours. That urge you get, that's what addiction's like, and that's what you just described with the steroid use. And that's
it's crazy, and it gets more, and it gets more and more and more, and like I remember so many times. Every time I started a cycle, I'd be like, okay, I'm just doing a normal cycle. I'm just going to do a normal cycle. Fucking nothing crazy. Fucking 1 cc a week. Fucking 250 milligrams. That's it. Boom, boom. No, next thing you know, you get fucking 4 or 5 weeks in. You'd be like, okay, boom, I've got this result. You know what? I'm gonna bump it up a half cc. Now I'm doing fucking 1.5 cc's for the next 3 weeks. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do a little bit more. Now I'm doing 2 cc's, which is 500. Now I'm doing 500 milligrams of testosterone, like synthetic testosterone, like way more than anybody ever needs. That's overdoing it. Now we're getting fucking even longer. Let's go crazy. Let's do another full cc. And this is legit one of the things that I did. Now I'm doing 750 milligrams of testosterone a week. That's 3 injections. 1 full injection Monday, 1 full injection Wednesday, 1 full injection Friday. You know what I mean? Like you can see it in some of the old pictures that I have. You can see it in my face. You can see it. I'm just fucking
mouth breather.
Like just so fucking full of water and huge and just dumb. Like just
knuckle dragger,
like dumb, like you know what I mean, like, and not just like mentally dumb, but it's like dumb on how much I'm actually taking, and that's just the injectable stuff. That's not counting the Dianabol that I was taking, the 60 milligrams of Dianabol. That's not included, right? D-ball. It's an oral steroid.
Yeah, that's the one you got to eat.
Yeah, so there's Anavar, there's Dianabol, there's Superdrol, there's a whole whack of them. I would mix it up between the 3: Anavar, D-ball, and Superdrol. I would just go back and forth. Also, like 300 milligrams of Mastrone, which is another injectable testosterone, right? Helps with hardness and stuff like that. So it's like literally doing 750 milligrams of test ethanate, 300 milligrams of Mastrone, 60 to 80 milligrams of D-ball, Anavar, or Superdrol, like it's just stupid, just stupid. No wonder I was starting to have heart shit and pains in my chest and stuff like that. And it took until 2 years ago for me to stop, because I would still get like these chest pains and stuff like that while I was doing the steroids, but I would ignore it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
well, that's awesome.
Now being 40 years old and you're watching all these bodybuilders and everybody just having all this heart shit happen, I'm just like,
yeah.
Well, so all of our favorite wrestlers, man, fucking. Well, you're not a family warrior.
40. I'm 40. We're right in the time. Fucking Mr. Perfect.
All of them.
Everybody.
Roddy
like,
Piper, they're all dead.
They're all fucking
even
gone.
The Warrior, the way his wife described how after he got sort of forgiven by the WWE, he just fell like a fucking oak tree, is what she said. That stuck with me when she said that. He just died there like an oak tree. Too much. So that leads me to my second question. What I was going to ask you there was, so what are you doing to maintain your health, your healthy testosterone levels then now? Because you look amazing.
I don't know exactly what my levels are at. I haven't had them checked in 2 years, over 2 years.
Good.
The last time I had them checked, my levels checked was while I was on steroids, and while I was on the steroids, everything was good while I was on steroids. So, but that was over 2 years ago. I'm actually really interested to see what my blood levels and all like that would be like almost 2 years now without anything, and just focusing on diet and training hard and training hard, right? And it doesn't mean necessarily training with weights, like heavy weight. It's just being intense in the gym with whatever exercises you're doing.
And
But I've had those moments where it's like, you know what, I could just do a little bit, right? I could just do a little, just,
Yeah, that's the addiction brain, dude. That's so
Yeah.
real.
just a little, right? And it's just, but I've been not
Don't
going.
listen.
It's been like, nope, and I've been able to stay away. And social media makes it tough. Like, it goes back to put your phone down for 24 hours. Well, you're on social media every day, and you're, as much as people say that they don't compare themselves to others, everybody is comparing themselves to everybody else
And it's
when you're on
not
social
good.
media.
It's the
And
highlight reels, bro. Everyone remember that. It's social
Right?
media is the highlight
Right?
reels of people's lives.
And you see all these young kids that have got all this peer pressure to, oh, it's cool to fucking do all these steroids, drink all this booze, do all these drugs, go to these raves and do all these drugs and waste your money on gambling and all these stupid investments and stuff like that, right? It's just, social media is crazy. It's crazy.
Can I ask you,
Social,
you've never, so your addiction has been steroid use, steroid abuse mostly. So nothing to do with, nothing really with alcohol or substance like.
no substances. I've been your regular freaking, I've done them all except for like the crazy hard. I've never done crack, heroin, or anything like that. But like, all the drug, you know what I mean? The party drugs, all the party drugs. I've done it all. Like, me and my brother back in the day, we were literally, I guess I wasn't actually doing heroin, but I was doing a form of heroin because me and him were doing morphine, just to get high. You know what I mean? Taking,
That's young kid shit.
stupid young kid shit. Like, don't do this, kid. Don't do this. Like, splitting 80s, and both of us taking half of an 80 and just chewing it and eating it and fucking munching out on it, like scratching out on the couch, like, oh my god, like just being tweakers, just being stupid. You know what I mean?
So I'm going to assume that a lot of your fan base, because you are something very exciting, and it's something I do want to try. I've talked to you about this a few times. I do want to try to get into wrestling in some capacity, trying to get a podcast off the ground, running my two bands. It's like, I'm crazy and I do so much, but I'm sure some people are going to log in. What about your wrestling career? What are you possessed by? It seems like you're sort of possessed by your wrestling career. You wrestled last weekend, and
That's actually, it's funny you talk about it, because that's another addiction. That's another addiction. Wrestling is another addiction.
But it's a good addiction, dude.
No, it's not. my body is saying, fuck you. My body hates it.
Yeah,
my
it's got to
mind,
take its toll for sure.
It's a rush.
More
It's
DDPY yoga,
dopamine.
bro. More DDPY.
It's
Sorry.
It's literally like behind the curtain, hearing that music. It's a rush. It's more. There's more. I get more dopamine from any fucking steroid cycle, any drug that I've ever done, anything that I've ever done in my life. There's nothing like wrestling. And when I get to come out in front of a live crowd like that, the dopamine and the serotonin that is produced in those moments, it's like through the fucking roof. And there's no drug that has that power. And I can't shake it. I'm 40 years old. I've been wrestling for 11 years. There's not a match that I go through that I don't get headache anymore. And that's due to the brain getting rattled around, concussions and stuff like that. Like, the amount of small little concussions that I've had over the last 10 years, I can't even count on the amount of on my hands. The thing I can't count the amount of times that I've been in the shower after a match and dizzy washing my hair. Like, I can't fucking close my eyes because I'll be like fucking probably shouldn't be going to sleep because you know what I mean. Right?
Well,
Yeah,
still do it then.
Concussion,
and I still do it because I'm addicted. Like, I'm booked on the 24th at the Trade X in Abbotsford in August 24th, in 2 weeks at the Trade X. There's a big festival fair type thing going on there. WrestleCore is part of it, and I got booked yesterday. I was like, sweet. I had my last show last weekend for the Lucha Libre Spectacular 666 with WrestleCore, and I was like, all right, I'm done for the summer. I can take a little bit of a break and no more wrestling. And then sure enough, Cobra Kai calls me this morning and he's like, hey, you free for the 24th? You want to come wrestle? Blah blah blah. I'm like, yes.
How often do you wrestle then?
I'm usually once a month, once or twice every month, every 2 months. It's not as crazy as it was. It's not as crazy as it was back like 5 years ago. I was like once every 2 weeks, once every weekend. That's how bad, like, you know what I mean? But now that I'm 40 and I'm like, I can't stop because I'm addicted to going out and the rush of standing behind the curtain and coming out and and I'm Shreddz and all that shit, right? Like I'm not ever going to get over that. That's why you see guys like Ric Flair and all those guys that they never retire, because you can't ever retire. You're just so addicted to that crowd and that rush that you get, that dopamine and that serotonin. It's literally not like any drug or cigarette or cell phone or anything on the planet. It really is not. It is, when you get in that moment, when you're there, it's just, it takes a hold of you.
You still got fucking 20 years left then if you take care of yourself, right?
The way I've been wrestling, I definitely got some more years in me. Way smarter. I've also built up a brand here, you know what I mean? Where I'm your local bad guy. I'm the local bad, like everybody knows me as the piece of shit, the dirt bag. You know what I mean? I'm always facing the good guys or the good girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you wrestle chicks.
Yeah, so I built up a bit of a rapport around the city here, which is really nice. So it makes it easier when you're going out into the crowd and they know that this is the guy that we don't like and this is the person that we do like. You know what I mean? It makes it so much easier to work with the crowd, but it's still the same addiction to that crowd, that rush, that like I don't think I'll ever quit the business. I might not be able to bump and be an actual wrestler, but you don't think that I'm going to be a manager when it comes to the point and I can't bump and I still can't come out of that curtain and get that rush and that dopamine and get my fix. You know what I mean? When I'm 60 years old, you damn right, so I'm going to be Arn Anderson or I'm going to be Ric Flair and I'm going to be coming out and I'm going to be with the new young kid and be like, yeah, this is my prospect. This is my boy. You're fucking right. Nice. I'm that guy. Nice. I'm that guy. I'm never that's one addiction that will never, ever be cured unless I die or I literally can't fucking walk. Like, you know what I mean? I will.
So what do you think? You got probably another decade of actual wrestling in you?
Let's 50 to pull a Chris Jericho, 50 years old and wrestling still.
But do you see yourself
I would like to
working with more youth, like as time goes on, and bringing other people in.
That's cool. Taking them under the wing and be like, hey, you don't need to do that 450 splash. You don't need to do those big the moonsault, even though those are cool. And if you can do them, great. But let me teach you how to sparingly do that and teach you where to put that and when to put it so you know when to get the biggest and the best reaction.
Yeah, because you've been putting yourself on the line, getting these injuries, right? So
that's one of the lost forms with the wrestling nowadays, is that it's not like there's no emotion in it anymore, and it's now all the world's like more. We want to see bigger, faster, more devastating, right? And it's putting everybody, all these kids and these people at risk for killing themselves and being paraplegics for no money, for nothing. Right. So
you're not, is it for you at this point though, it's sort of a part-time gig, is it, or is it all free? You just work for, like, can I ask you that?
Hell no, don't do it for free. No way. Like,
I wouldn't imagine.
Like a good friend of mine said one time in the movie Gangs of New York, you got to pay for the pleasure of my company.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, you can't do that for free. It's that's where I also like to take credit for myself with the hard work that I put in. And it's not just me. I've had help around around the PNW with my skills, with what I've been able to acquire and the knowledge and stuff like that. Scotty Mack is a big one for that, who's really helped me get a lot of my stuff over. The guy who taught me to work was Bishop, a guy named Bishop. He's the one guy in the PNW who, how you see Shreddz as a bad guy or a good guy out there, my character, my crowd work, how I get the crowd invested in me and why they hate me so much. That's a byproduct of a guy called Bishop. And he taught me to work. He's the guy who taught me to do that.
Yeah, and shout out to Cobra Kai and WrestleCore.
And shout out to Cobra Kai, who's a good friend of mine, who's now like one of the main promotions that I work for, which is probably it's probably the best product here in BC. It's got the best production, even though the rosters are usually pretty much the same throughout all the promotions. WrestleCore gets consistently the biggest, the hottest, and the loudest crowds.
That's awesome. I'd like to at least come play some music with you guys at some point too, because I know you guys mix it in with metal and
they started doing that. Heck yeah, it would be sweet. Get doing a little something where your band is out there helping out. I think that'd be cool.
I'm still determined to try to get out on the mats and just and figure it out for myself. I think maybe I am too old for this, but I got when I got in the ring though. The first thing that blew my mind was how fucking thick those ropes are. I was like, this is fucking cable. The fuck.
Yeah. Shit hurts, man. You bruises. But freaking, I notice it if I haven't wrestled in a while, and when I start running ropes, I got bruises on my back because my body's not used to it.
Yeah. Well, we got 10 minutes left. This is a great interview, man, and we're stoked. And we got to do it again when we get in. Like as we get bigger, we'll definitely have you back on. One thing, what do you have in the way of advice for anyone that wants to get more disciplined, get more fit, is struggling with any sort of steroid use or addiction? What are some steps they can take?
Yeah.
Don't be too worried about social. The big one is the social media. Don't be too fixated on the social media, because there's a lot of unreal expectations with the filters and the Photoshop, and literally on Greg Doucette is a YouTube fitness. I don't want to say fitness influencer. He's a coach. He's an IFBB pro. This guy's got some great information, but it's like he describes it as like the top 1% of the elite bodies you see on the internet are like that's only 1% of the body types. You know what I mean? And we all try to be like, oh yeah, we're like that. I can look like that. I can look like that. No, you can't, because social media has a very unrealistic expectation of what you can look like. And yes, you can get to something similar to that, but 90% of the time, you definitely won't look like any of those guys on Instagram or women, because their genetics and the PEDs
and camera tricks,
lighting, Photoshop, editing, they only show the best portion, right? So there's that. Don't get wrapped up in the social media. You don't need steroids to get big and put on muscle. Straight up.
Lots of legs.
Like, hit your legs twice a week if you want to get big. You got to hit your legs twice a week. Food,
like a full-time fucking job.
Food. It's a full-time job. It sucks, but if you want to gain muscle, you want to get bigger, you want to get stronger, you gotta fucking eat, and not the processed shit. You want healthy, whole foods, clean foods, which also sucks because it's so expensive now. You know what I mean? Like, that's what makes it really hard. But honestly, it's consistency and the food. Consistency and food. You have to constantly be on that. A big thing is, don't just like make a plate of food. Make a plate of food and eat it. Literally, weigh it out.
Yeah, macros. You're weighing your macros. Lots of information.
It's not even just the macros. Just literally weigh it out. Like, and it'll take some time to figure out what your baseline is. Like, see, because I've been training for so long, And I've been like, I don't write this stuff down in any books. I don't have a journal, even though I should have, because it would have been cool to see all my progression and stuff like that. But it's literally all here. And like, I know what I'm eating, how much I need to eat. It's a baseline. So it's okay, now I know, okay, if I'm eating 200, all my meals are this: 200 grams of chicken, 100 grams of rice with 6 slices of cucumber for 2 meals, a cup of oatmeal, a cup of egg whites for breakfast every day, a scoop of protein powder, a protein shake with 2 scoops of protein powder, and 2 slices of pizza, 2 slices of protein bread with peanut butter. That's a meal. You know,
Pizza
what I mean?
on the brain.
Right? You know what I mean? With pizza on the brain. So I literally eat the same thing every day. It's weighed out the same amount every day. And I know I've been sitting at 201 pounds for the last month, almost 2 months, like at steady weight, right? Dropping a little bit here and there with cutting out sugars and processed foods, not eating pizza 3 times a week, or all the diarrhea junk food that's out there, right? But I literally know now that what I eat right now is my baseline. So if I want to gain weight, I've got to increase everything. So, but it's not eating more meals. It's literally, okay, all my meals that I have, it's literally increasing those meals. So instead of 200 grams of chicken, I'm now having 220 grams of chicken.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just that extra little bit, right? And that over time is where you'll see.
And it takes learning and self-experiment. A lot of information.
Self-experiment. Yeah.
It's funny. I reached out to Doyle once. Sorry to cut you off. What were you going to say?
No, it's okay. I can't even remember.
I reached out to Doyle once of Misfits, and I'm like, "Hey man, what's your arm routine, bro?" And he's like, "Consistency." It's like, okay. So, Mike, where can everybody find you, man?
You can find me on social media. Instagram is at the real Shreddz. THES, or sorry, at the real Shreddz. So THEREALSHREDDZ.
And we'll link you. We'll make it easy for people to link you.
Perfect. And that's Instagram and Twitter. The wrap up. Thanks.
We'll get you back on. Thanks again, dude. Yeah. You did great.
Sorry if I rambled a little bit.
No, man, you killed it. You killed it. It's perfect. No. It's really good. Everyone worries. Sorry if I rambled. No, man, you did awesome. So
it was really enlightening, the whole story and everything, for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing everything, and we'll get you back on down the road for sure. Okay.
I look forward to seeing you guys' progression.
Yeah. Garrett, you want to do your little send-offs, right?
Yeah, just remember, everyone, progress, not perfection. Grind the blade, slay the day, keep the PMA. Fuck motivation, stay disciplined.
And again, great having you on.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. Very appreciative.
See ya.